All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I am back again with another live. I hope that you guys are doing well and I hope that you guys are staying safe. I just wanted to say happy Sunday to you guys out there. It's such a beautiful day today where I'm at, and I hope that it's a beautiful day for you all. Now, it is technically, what is it? Still spring going into summer. This is like really one of my favorite times of the year. But anyways, you guys, I do have some topics that I just wanted to touch on with you guys briefly here. And it did actually come from an inspiration from a subscriber. We did the live last week. And I just wanted to say, if you do tune into the lives, I really love you guys so much. It really does make my day when you guys come in the room, when you share your feedback, you share your guidance and the things that you guys want to talk about, the things that you guys want to learn about. It really does help. But today, I can't remember who it was that said it. Thank y'all for the like. But basically, and I've mentioned this before in the past, where I wanted to talk about why it is okay to be by yourself when it comes to and after dealing with narcissistic abuse, because I do understand that a lot of people could definitely feel pressure to be in another relationship, pressure to maybe fill that void that they could be feeling, or pressure, to keep up with the Joneses, or pressure to keep up with the narcissists and what they're doing, or maybe you feel like you want to outdo the new supply, or whatever the case may be, or maybe you just want to get back at the narcissist. Maybe you could be trying to take revenge in your own hands. I just wanted to let you know that it is totally fine, you guys, to spend time by yourself. Maybe it could be spending time with your children or your grandchildren or other extended family members, or maybe it could be an associate, or it could be a friend. Hopefully they're not a narcissist, and that sort of thing, or hopefully they don't have the tendencies, right? But I just wanted to let you guys know that it's totally fine to be by yourself after dealing with narcissistic abuse. And you guys, please feel free to chime in. Are you guys alone right now? Are you in a relationship? Are you not in a relationship? And again, don't feel like, oh, I got to rush back and be with somebody because it's going to make me feel better. Or, oh, I got to prove something to the narcissist. Or, oh, I got to prove something to my family. Or, oh, I got to prove to the world that, I wasn't the one that did wrong, or I didn't break up this relationship. It wasn't my fault, because I'm going to be honest with you guys. Back in 2014, I was single after dealing with the abuse. And you guys know narcissists can't be alone. They have to be with someone. They're codependent, right? And they make us codependent on them. But you have to remember that, the narcissist needs praise. They need constant attention. They need constant approval, and so they really cannot stand to be by themselves, because at the end of the day, they're going to have to deal with how they feel about themselves. They're going to have to look themselves in the mirror and say, like, wow, like, look how I treat people. Look how I behave. Look how I, talk to individuals. Look how I, do this, or look how I ruin their lives, or look how I try to break them and destroy them and stuff like that. They got to look at that. And a lot of narcissists do not want to face themselves. So, which is why they use other people to distract themselves, or to fill a void. Now, the thing is, you do have normal people that can do this, and I get it. It could be, you could be feeling hurt, you could be feeling pain, you could be feeling anger, and it could be like a rebound situation or scenario. So, if you do find yourself maybe trying to have a rebound relationship, or maybe it could be a fling, maybe it might be a one-night stand type of deal, just kind of keep in mind what you could be getting yourself into, and also, the karma that may be you might be accumulating. So and not to say that you can't talk to anyone after you deal with narcissistic abuse, but it's just, you have to be careful that you're not trying to use that person, or you're not trying to distract yourself. And even if you are trying to distract yourself, it might be good to use a better distraction. So maybe that distraction could be doing something that's going to benefit you, meaning it could be reading a book, or maybe it could be going out for a walk, or maybe it's taking a bath, or taking a nap, or something to where you don't have to use another person in order for you to feel happy, whole, and complete. You get what I'm saying? Because on this channel, what I really like to talk about, you guys, is you all really being able to be free of needing other people to validate you, needing other people to make you feel reassurance, needing other people to make you feel secure within yourself. Because again, that's something that I've learned on my journey, that none of that can come from anybody on the outside. It all comes from within. It all comes through God. You get what I'm saying? So just be aware of that. But and even if you do decide, hey, you want to talk to somebody or deal with somebody, and whether it's fresh, out of the abuse, or maybe it's maybe a year or two, you don't have to tell the person that you're dealing with everything, but you can say, hey, you know what, I dealt with narcissistic abuse, maybe this is my personality style. Maybe you can give them kind of a heads up. And then others of you, maybe if you're not really looking for nothing serious, you can tell them that. Don't, one of the things that I always recommend, and again, I'm not telling anybody what to do, is just you want to try your best not to lead people on. That's where it gets, unhealthy, it gets kind of toxic, and it turns dysfunctional. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to be aware of that. But so I hope that was helpful, you guys. And like I said, again, maybe it's just spending time with family. Maybe it's spending time with your children, your grandkids. Kids make people happy. Kids are always, free. They do what they want. They're not thinking about like how, us older folks are. They're not stressing out about stuff. They're not worrying about anything. Kids can make anybody happy. Kids can make anybody smile, type of deal. So that kind of thing. But anyway, you guys, I hope that was helpful. And please, you guys, share your feedback. How are you guys coping after dealing with the abuse? I would really love to know, and I would really love to hear. But also, this is kind of a little topic that I added in. It's in regards to the narcissist, and how a lot of times, them wanting to have their cake and eat it too. And what I mean by that is basically, if you're dealing with a narcissist, and maybe, they could be trying to court you, or maybe they could be trying to date you, or maybe you are dating them now, or maybe you have some sort of connection with them. I just want you to be aware of, because this is something that happened to me many years ago. The narcissist that I dealt with was actually in a relationship. He ended up telling me after the fact, after we had went out on a couple of dates and stuff. At first, he told me he was single. But then I want to say it was that 3rd month mark, he finally admitted that, he was in a relationship, but that he wanted me to be a part of it, type of deal. So a lot of times, when you're dealing with a narcissist, a lot of them want their cake and they want to eat it too. So, you just want to be aware, like when you are dealing with this type of individual, because, and I'm only saying this from experience, because I was that type of person where I felt like, if I'm in the narcissist's life, I can change them. I can get them to stop behaving the way that they are. I can get them to, act better, treat me right, put me first, make me feel important, or make me feel validated, or, make them want to be with me and me only. And sometimes we kind of have to swallow our hard pill and realize that we cannot change the narcissist. The narcissist is who they are. And essentially, that's their personality. Like, I mentioned this, I did a podcast, last week, and, we were kind of just talking about how when you're dealing with a narcissist, it's actually a personality, so that's who they are. They're not going to change. They don't want to change. They don't see anything wrong with it. And so a lot of times they just want victims or people around them to where they can train them and they can groom them into accepting their behavior. You see what I'm saying? And so, that's just something that you have to decide. Because some people say, hey, you know what? I want to be in the narcissist life. Some people could say, hey, I'm dependent on them. I live with them. Or maybe your narc is your boss. Maybe, you work for your narcissist, or, maybe you're married to the narcissist, or you have children with them, or whatever, and you feel like you can't leave. And some people they just accept it, and it's like, hey, to each his own. As I always say on this channel, we only want to support people and be there for those that want to change and that want to do better, because some people are okay with the status quo. Some people are okay with being abused. I mean, because some people don't know another life without abuse. Some people grew up in a toxic household or a dysfunctional household where there was abuse, where gossiping and putting each other down was normalized, where enmeshment was normalized, where tit for tat, backbiting, fighting, arguments, screaming, yelling was normalized. Like, oh, if you're not doing that, oh, something is wrong. Some people grew up in a household where there's always noise and screaming and yelling and TVs and stuff. Like, and then some people could feel like, oh, if peace and quiet that's what they're experiencing, they're like, oh no, like I got to do something. I got to make some noise. I got to start some drama. You know what I'm saying? So, you just kind of want to be aware of, I get everybody has their own upbringings, their own backgrounds, their own perspectives. So it's like, hey, it is what it is, so But anyway, I hope that that makes sense. And I guess I'm saying all that to say is, if you feel like you're missing out on a narcissist, or you feel like you want to go back to the narcissist, or you feel guilty for leaving them, or you feel some sort of fear, guilt, and obligation when it comes to, leaving the narcissist behind, or, maybe even being by yourself. You feel that feeling, and you just want to remember, if you are in any way in some sort of connection or dating relationship with a narcissist, you have to remember it's never going to be fair. It's not going to be fair for you. And it's not going to be fair to whoever else that they're dealing with, because again, you know that they're always going to have multiple people around. You're never going to be the only one, ever. Like, and that's something that I had to accept, and it's not so easy, right? It's not so easy to accept that. In a sense, you're never really going to be, I guess, good enough for the narc. But it's not really that you're not good enough, it's that they're not good enough for you per se. But that's how, in the narcissist's mind, that's how they think. So it's like, essentially, you can cut your losses. And again, I'm not telling folks what to do. This is just from my personal experience and what I went through many years ago. And this could also be the case for a narc parent, a narc in-law. The same thing. That narc parent wants you all to themselves. They don't want you to have other relationships, other connections. They want your full attention on them at all times and at all costs. And if they feel like you're not doing that, then they're going to punish you. And then I guess once you comply to the punishment, then they're going to reward you. And so essentially that's how you're going to become trauma bonded to your parent or the in-law, because it's going to be a constant state of rewards, a constant state of punishments if you don't comply to the narc, if you don't go along with what they want you to do. You get what I'm saying? So I hope that that is helpful. The truth, you said good morning or good afternoon. What about spiritual whistleblower or Tiffany Diaper? While they say that Tiffany Diaper has passed away, I don't know anything. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not really sure. I heard of spiritual whistleblower, but I don't know about Tiffany. So I'm so sorry about that. But yeah. But any other questions, you guys, let me know, because we can definitely answer those. So yeah, but I hope that makes sense, you guys. The other topic I also, again, wanted to talk about too is why the narcissist does not want a relationship with you. This one could actually have its own type of video, but I just wanted to touch on this again because I know that some people have heard the narcissist say, let's say maybe you've had a connection again, you've dealt with the narcissist, maybe you went out to lunch or dinner, maybe you went out on vacation with the narcissist, and at the end of the day, the narcissist tells you that they don't want a relationship with you. And I do understand how devastating and hurtful that can be, and how you could feel like, again, you're not good enough, like you've done something wrong, like you're the bad person and that sort of thing. So I just want you to remember, again, when it comes to dealing with a narcissist, they're never going to be able to give you what it is that you need in that relationship. So their relationship is not going to be fair. They're going to want someone that they can control, someone that they can manipulate, and someone that they can abuse with pretty much with no regards to how you feel about it. Like, they want someone that's going to be like, happy to be abused. You know what I'm saying? They want someone that's going to worship them. Someone that's not going to say nothing about the mistreatment. So when the narcissist rejects you, or if they tell you like, hey, they don't want a relationship with you, you may want to take that as a blessing in disguise and say, okay, thank you so much for letting me know that. Let me go off and do my own thing. And, if I need to be single for a while, so be it. But let me work on myself, and, let me just focus on what I need to do, so that way I don't attract another narc. You get what I'm saying? So I hope that made sense. And the truth, he said, and they said about the toxic empath. What about, the toxic empath? That's interesting. I feel like I have heard that before, but what exactly do you mean in regards to that, the truth? Because I've heard of it, but I guess I didn't really go deep into it. But I don't know. I guess some people that are empathic maybe could use their talents and their skills and them being an empath, maybe they may use that against other people. So the fact of an empath is a person that can feel the feelings of other people. They take on the like when they see a person, it's almost like they feel how they are. And so it's like that individual empath could, take that on as if it's their own. So I guess in that regards, and a toxic empath could be a person that could manipulate people, or they could already, they could make predictions, or they could maybe judge people, or they may be able to I don't know, maybe some they may criticize others, or yeah, like be very judgmental, or they could maybe, I guess, I don't know, predict things that aren't true to a certain degree, or they could, yeah, just be very, some might belittle, some empaths, or and that sort of thing. So I hope that made sense, the truth. But yeah, toxic empath. I know most empaths that I know are not toxic, but I mean, maybe you have some empaths that maybe they see that them being an empath, they don't like it or something. They get tired of maybe feeling the feelings of other people, or putting themselves in other people's shoes. Maybe they get to a point where they're like, they want to be selfish, and they're like, no, I don't want to feel how you feel, or I don't want to walk in your shoes, or you see what I'm saying? They may get tired of, their ability to be able to, relate to other people, or, feel how they feel, or put themselves in other people's shoes as if it's their own, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, hopefully that answers that question, the truth. Anyone else in the room, or if you come at a later time, and don't forget, you guys, please continue to keep leaving me topics in regards to what it is that you guys would like to learn about when it comes to dealing with narcissistic abuse. It really does help, because again, for those that may be a little bit afraid to ask the question, if you ask the question, then maybe it can help them, and we can all help each other and learn and grow with one another. So, but yeah, you guys, it's really hot at where I'm at. It's like, it's more humid more than anything, It's more humid. You said the truth. That sounds like that they are not a real empath, or they didn't repent for their wicked ways. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Because like I said, me personally, the empaths that I know that are real true empaths, they're usually good-hearted people. They pretty much have good intentions. But what you do have is some people that, again, they could be an empath. They could be an empath, but again, they may be kind of afraid to use. They may be afraid to admit it, or they may just be frustrated that they're an empath, or they don't know how to manage maybe their sensitivities, or they don't know how to manage being an empath, and maybe they get overwhelmed. Because I'm not going to lie, you guys, like certain times in certain places, like I cannot be around due to the fact that I am an empath. And when you have multiple energies, multiple people around in one instance, it's really difficult to be able to, function, essentially, you know what I'm saying? And so it could make an empath want to just crawl up and put a blanket over their head, and, not want to be around anybody, due to that, they absorb other people's energies all the time. They absorb other people's feelings all the time. You see what I'm saying? So it can make them not want to do that anymore, And I feel like maybe that's how it can turn empathic. But you have on the flip side to where it could be just a normal person. Maybe they're not an empath, but they read up on it, and they may study it, and they may try to emulate, and they may try to act like they are an empath, and they're really not. So that maybe, I feel like that's the case where maybe you're mentioning the truth. But yeah. And I feel like you have to have a certain type of heart. Like your intentions have to be good, and you have to mean well. You know what I'm saying? You have to really mean well in that case. So, but no, that's a good topic. Maybe I'll make a video on the toxic empath. I never really, like I said, I've heard of it, but yeah, I never really touched on it in my videos, to be honest with you. And I'm gonna be like, another thing to talk about also, I will never forget this. Back in 2015, when I used to work at, it was called Massage Envy. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys heard of Massage Envy. And by the way, that's another really good way to help you to heal or to cope after dealing with narcissistic abuse. Try getting a massage. I highly, highly recommend, especially maybe if you're feeling tense in your shoulders, your back, or your legs, just anywhere in your body. I highly, highly recommend. It helped me tremendously. So, but anyway, when I worked at Massage Envy, it, like, at first everything was fine, but after a while, like I said, understanding that I'm a highly sensitive person and also understanding that I'm an empath, you know, I like sometimes when I walk into the atmosphere, I could just feel the energy, meaning I could feel like people, like I can feel how they feel. I can feel like maybe how they're thinking, you know, and I can feel like if somebody doesn't really like me, I can tell if someone's jealous of me. You know, they may not say it, but I could tell by, like, you know, their body language and the way that they look at me, and, you know, just little like subtle clues and innuendos and stuff like that, you know. And I don't know, it was actually kind of frightening. It could be frightening at times because you're like, oh, wow, like this is how this person feels about me, even though they're not saying anything. It's just about the energy. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, some people are just kind of like, I don't know, maybe they could be afraid of their powers, afraid that, you know, that they have that ability to do that. But I honestly think that it's just, it's a gift from God to be an empath. And some people may say it's a curse. I truly don't believe that. I believe that it's a gift, but you have to learn how to manage your gift, you know? And so, but I hope that that was helpful though. But I don't want to keep you guys on here for too long. But I just thought I'd come on here because we did kind of talk about this in a previous live. And I think I made a video on this as well, talking about why it's totally fine to be by yourself after dealing with narcissistic abuse. Because again, I understand the pressure that a lot of people feel they need to be with someone. I get it. I totally get it. I think that many people feel like, oh, if I'm alone, I'm a loser. Oh, if I'm alone, like, what are people going to think of me? You know, the narcissist is with someone else. The narcissist maybe is married or moved in with someone, or maybe if the narcissist stays single, whatever. Or even if they're not single, maybe they're like dating around, trying to find another supply. You could be feeling like, well, man, I need to do the same thing too. The beautiful thing when you can accept that it's totally fine to be by yourself, then the more, again, you can focus on yourself, you can focus on your family, and focus on what's really important for you at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I get it, because being an empathic person or being highly sensitive, or maybe you're introverted, or maybe you might be a people pleaser, or maybe you might be a pushover at times. You want approval from others, you want acceptance from other people, you want love from other people, at your own detriment, which means, you know, you could forget about yourself, you forget about your needs, you forget about your wants, and you're so focused on, you know, the narc, or you're focused on, you know, love, to the point where, you know, you're doing things out of desperation, or you're doing things because you feel like, I need to get this in order for me to feel okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, an awareness and a need to kind of break free of that type of mind frame and realize that it's okay to be by yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, and this is my motto, you guys. You know, we come in this world alone and we're going to die alone. So, you know, the sooner that you can make terms with that, the more you can begin to grow your relationship with God. And, you know, the more that you can just learn how to be, you know, independent, self-sufficient, and self-reliant. And then when the time is right, because I'm not saying that you're going to be alone forever. And again, disclaimer, not telling folks what to do, just advice here. But you can say, hey, God, bring the right people into my life that will be in the same alignment with me, or maybe have the same beliefs or the same values, and, you know, that sort of thing. So, excuse me. So I hope that made sense, you guys. I don't want to drag this on for too long, but it's funny because I actually talk about that in my book that's going to be coming out next month. I'm super excited, you guys. It's called Your Pain Will Make You Successful. I think you guys are really, really, really going to like it, and I highly, highly recommend it. Like I said, I'm pretty much finished with it. I'm just doing like the last minute touches on it, so I highly, highly recommend getting that. Like I said, it's definitely, I would say it's a surprising, shocking, inspirational, informative, motivating book. You know, people for ages 14 and up, I would recommend reading. I do want to come out with a I have some more projects coming out too, so I will keep you guys posted on that in the near future. And also make sure that you guys do subscribe to my email list. Go to my website, sign up for my email list, so that way you don't miss out on any notifications or events coming up. But I do have some more projects coming up before the end of the year, so make sure that you do stay tuned. But anyway, I love you guys. And I hope that this is helpful and insightful. Like I said, please continue to keep leaving me topics, so that way it's beneficial to everybody watching. Because like I said, you know, I remember after I dealt with narcissistic abuse, I really didn't have an outlet, you guys. I'm going to be honest. I didn't really have a space where I could just come and just kind of, you know, share my experience, share my story, what I went through, and the person understand and like relate, you know, because like I said, I talked to someone for about a year. She was kind of like a counselor in training, but again, she didn't understand what it felt like to be in a situation with a narcissist. And that's very important. Like whoever you talk to, again, I would just say, hey, make sure that they know what it's like, you know, because they can reassure you, they can help validate you, and they can help empower you at the same time, you know? So, but anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. And yeah, till the next time. I love you. Bye.